Hemingway told Samuelson, "Listen now. When people talk, listen completely. Don't be thinking what you're going to say. Most people never listen, nor do they observe. You should be able to go into a room, and when you come out, know everything that you saw there, and not only that. If that room gave you any feeling, you should know exactly what it was that gave you that feeling. Try that for practice. When you're in town, stand outside the theater and see how people differ in the way they get out of taxis or motor cars. There are 1,000 ways to practice. And always think of other people."
Welcome back to the channel, everyone. I'm Saladino.
You make me wanna cry in a good way. You make me wanna cry in a good way.
There's been a lot of Sweet Baby Inc. talk lately. There's so much information and then situational BS coming out now. A lot of it's being brought up, dug up. It's hard to keep up with it all. It's probably hard to keep up with it even for a professional YouTuber. This video was supposed to come out days ago, and it was supposed to be about just empathy.
Enthusiasms.
Well, it's still just about empathy. I decided that I can't cover all the other absurd, insane things that's going on with these guys. But when I talk about empathy, I don't mean the fake Twitter and Tumblr version of the word. You know, the way activists and cancel pigs use it. Like when players complained about the Star Wars Outlaws game starring yet another female lead. One that, of course, they uglified and nerfed as far as her beauty and shape is concerned. You had some writer, I think they were at Kotaku, maybe Polygon, come swooping in, mad and bitching about how gamers didn't have empathy to accept a woman as the lead of a video game, and more games needed to star women because male gamers needed to be taught a lesson.
Trigger warnings, safe spaces, microaggressions, unconscious bias, and lived experience. The language of therapy is now used widely and indiscriminately.
Never mind Star Wars being for boys. Never mind this being a male-dominated hobby. Never mind all the female leads games used to have before the likes of Sweet Baby Inc. even got involved. And then, when they did get involved, they complained about the type of women that were the leads and stars in games and made it about the male gaze, something that only a feminist would care about, not a regular woman who was already into games. And then they decided that because women played a bunch of mobile and puzzle games, there were actually just as many women, if not more women, than men playing video games. I don't know how, but somehow that meant developers had to turn every female lead and NPC into an angry black lesbian, or make them trans-friendly, or dumpy, or ugly, and just overall man-hating and misandrist. Never mind the fact that if women were indeed already into games so much, despite the things feminists didn't like about them, why did games need to be made to suit women specifically? It's because activists have an agenda, and the agenda is to destroy men's hobbies, to womanize them. The games they wanted to change didn't even have anything to do with women, and they don't have anything to do with empathy.
Hemingway told Samuelson that it was vital for a writer to develop a sense of empathy. He wrote, "Then get in somebody else's head for a change. If I ball you out, try to figure out what I'm thinking about, as well as how you feel about it. If Carlos curses Juan, think what both their sides of it are. Don't just think who is right. As a man, things are as they should or shouldn't be. As a man, you know who is right and who is wrong. You have to make decisions and enforce them. As a writer, you should not judge. You should understand."
When these idiots say empathy, all they mean is surface traits, identity, check your privilege, and see my truth. It never ceases to amaze me how, and I've actually mentioned this before, it never ceases to amaze me how often the people in art forms and entertainment genres, activists, cancel pigs, hate and demonize the most are the ones they would most benefit learning from. Like with, manga and anime. These idiots hate manga and anime, But they could learn so much about pushing strong female characters from manga and anime. But since these people aren't artists, they don't understand or even care that a strong female character doesn't mean she has to be physically strong or in a powerful leadership role or has to hate men or be body positive to engage a straight male gamer's empathy and concern. Since they're driven by agenda, they need to check this list of approved qualities and situations a female character has to be in and the effect she needs to have on the audience or player, especially the straight white male player. They need to be intimidated by the strong woman. They need to feel like this woman would hate them and disapprove of them, forget ever wanting to sleep with them. The only feelings you're supposed to have as a straight male gamer to diverse characters is fear and self-loathing. But other than that, the whole point of sensitivity groups like Sweet Baby Inc. is to take away your ability to feel. When they talk about safe spaces, they're talking about being safe from feeling. One of the big reasons why they lack self-awareness is because they suppress feelings and avoid the kind of self-interrogation that would bring that kind of stuff up. For them, having an emotion is something you're supposed to just act upon or be overwhelmed by. One of the reasons why they're so smug is because they're afraid to look stupid for having an emotion over something. They're literally afraid of feelings. They talk about safe spaces, but then they mock nerd rage. But people are supposed to just accept their bullshit take on art and entertainment, even though they're not artists or even entertainers, and no one even wants them to be here.
It's people giving in to the pressure who give the woke people popularity. I mean, no one cares about woke except the woke.